It was supposed to be a simple stop, a quick refuel at a lonely gas station late at night. But for one black woman, what should have been an ordinary moment turned into a nightmare. The flashing red and blue lights, the heavy footsteps, and the sharp voices cutting through the silence made her realize something dangerous was about to unfold. They didn't see her as a woman alone at night. They saw her skin first. What they didn't know was that their next move would expose the darkest side of prejudice. Would she make it out unharmed, or change the game forever? Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Her name was Danielle Carter, an experienced FBI agent who had spent nearly a decade taking down criminal networks across the country. On this night, however, she wasn't on duty, at least not officially. Dressed in plain clothes, she was driving home after a long day of reviewing case files. The road stretched endlessly, quiet except for the hum of her tires, until the low fuel light blinked on her dashboard. She pulled into a nearly empty gas station on the outskirts of town. Danielle had faced danger before: raids, high-speed pursuits, undercover operations. But what she didn't expect was that danger could find her when she was off the clock, in the most ordinary of places. As she stepped out of her car, she noticed a patrol vehicle pull into the lot. At first, she thought nothing of it. But then came the stares, the way the officers scanned her as if she were already guilty. Something inside her, the officers moved with a swagger that felt less like protection and more like intimidation. Their eyes locked on Danielle, their hands resting just a little too comfortably on their belts. One of them barked a command for her to stop, though she had done nothing more than insert her card into the pump. Her heart quickened, not from guilt, but from the familiar sting of being profiled. She knew this pattern: suspicion without cause, control without justification. Still, Danielle remained calm. Years of training had taught her how quickly situations could escalate, especially when authority was mixed with prejudice. They questioned why she was there, what she was doing, and why she was driving a late-model SUV. Every word carried the unspoken weight of accusation. She explained she was refueling, but the skepticism in their faces deepened. One officer ordered her to place her hands where he could see them. Another began circling her car, shining a flashlight inside as though searching for hidden contraband. Fear prickled at the edges of her composure. She thought of the countless stories she had investigated, ordinary people whose lives had been shattered in moments like these. And now she wasn't the investigator. She was the target. As tension grew, Danielle had a decision to make: comply quietly and risk being humiliated, or reveal her true identity, a card she never used lightly. Her badge and credentials were inside her purse, just inches away. But reaching for them in the wrong way could trigger the very thing she feared most. The air felt heavy. The gas station lights flickered above, and she could sense the situation sliding into dangerous territory. One of the officers placed his hand on his holster, his voice sharp, demanding she step away from her car. Danielle's pulse pounded in her ears. She raised her hands slowly, her training telling her to de-escalate. But then the officer lunged forward, accusing her of resisting. That was the breaking point. With steady precision, Danielle turned her body, reached into her purse, and pulled out her FBI credentials. Her voice, firm and commanding, cut through the tension. She wasn't just another civilian. They were threatening a federal agent. The shock on their faces was immediate. The officer's hand slipped away from his weapon, his eyes widening as the reality set in. Their power had crumbled in an instant. The woman they had cornered, harassed, and treated as a suspect now held authority over them. The gas station, silent moments ago, became the stage for a confrontation that exposed both arrogance and truth. The officers stumbled over apologies, their earlier aggression dissolving into nervous respect. But for Danielle, the damage had already been done. She hadn't revealed her badge to humiliate them. It was her shield against injustice in a moment where silence could have cost her everything. Driving away later, the flashing lights in her rearview mirror faded, but the memory burned bright. She thought of the countless others who didn't have a badge to protect them, who weren't believed, who were silenced before they could even speak. Her story was just one of many, a reminder that racism doesn't disappear with uniforms or laws. It hides in plain sight, waiting for moments of unchecked power. That night, Danielle carried more than her FBI credentials. She had millions who faced discrimination without defense, and the question lingered for all who watched: how many more lives must be threatened before the world finally changes? Which country and city are you watching from? Take care.